Why am I crying right now?
Should have been a red flag.
It should. Now we're in front of this whole debacle.
It's time to share with you guys on why we left our brokerage.
And we're not leaving any details out that influenced our decision. Let's talk about it.
Hey friends, my name is Ariel.
And I'm Haley. We're twin real estate professionals located in Southwest Florida.
We have been waiting for the appropriate time to share our story on why we switched our brokerages.
We're hoping that this video helps the new agent out there that's looking for a brokerage or the seasoned agent in need of a change.
Now grab a snack, get comfortable, and enjoy the deep dive of our story. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning.
Okay, so this is a fun story. We started Century 21 when we were 21 years old.
And not only were we young agents, we started in the middle of the pandemic. We started in November 2019, and then February, March is when the whole world shut down.
Pretty much. And we were actually at the office pretty much at the end of the pandemic. That was like our last memory prior to this whole craziness. Anyway, so we started off on a team.
We were part of that team for a year and a half until our team leader left the brokerage.
Right. So a team leader came up to Ariel and I and said, hey, I would love to have you two still on the team, but I am going to be on another brokerage, so that's something that you have to decide. Now, this decision for us was kind of a little overwhelming because it kind of happened 0 to 100. One day we were on a team at Century 21, and now we have to move to X brokerage.
It was a very fast-paced decision. We felt like in the back of our minds, we were ready to be Twin Southwest Florida just by ourselves. We felt like we learned a lot in our business to finally be independent.
Right. We did take the tour with the new brokerage, and it was your standard brokerage, and we felt like, hey, maybe this could be beneficial for us to learn this brokerage and kind of have a better understanding of what they offer, because of course we want to have the best situation for us in our business.
So in the middle of all this transition, our broker decided to contact us to see where we stood in our decision.
Right. So our broker calls us, I believe, and says, hey guys, hey Ariel and Haley, let's have a face-to-face to discuss where you're at, where you stand, right?
To answer any questions on the transition, to see if he could be of any help, any questions to be answered, so on and so forth.
So we totally thought this could be a benefit for us because we knew that we didn't necessarily want to move brokerages. And we started off at Century 21. Why not stay at Century 21? Let's see what we can get out of this conversation.
Yes, so we went to the restaurant across from our brokerage and sat down in front of our order of operations, his right-hand woman, and our broker.
So we sit down. Why are we nervous? Like, we shouldn't be nervous. We were kind of like, okay, like, wow. Like I said, 0 to 100. Last week I was in Century 21. Now we're in front of this whole debacle.
Yes.
So we are discussing a few things. But first, they were kind of like, how do you say, trash talking our broker, or trash talking our team lead. Because they did not agree with a few things that she did.
They had a little beef.
Yeah.
Not to get into it.
We're not going to get into it at all. But the thing is that we kind of felt a little uncomfortable because that was our team leader who was our mentor at that time. And yes, not everything was perfect, but
we felt very uncomfortable. We were here to talk about our business.
Right.
Our questions that we needed to answer. And it just didn't sit well that in the middle of this whole transition, now he's talking bad about our team leader. That should have been a red flag.
It should have been. And you know what? So with that being said, guys, he was seeming like he was mentioning all these things that he could do for us. So he's so upset that we got X, Y, and Z done in our whatever he was feeling bad for.
He was upset of how our team
was ran
essentially, and he kind of promised us better.
Right. So, when we're sitting down face to face and we're thinking, oh, we're going to be on our own. This could be the fresh start.
He's there for us.
Right.
He said that any questions he can, because we asked a lot of questions from our team leader.
Right.
Very responsive. However, he said that he would take that role and help us out in our new turn leaf here at Century.
And guys, keep in mind that just because you're on a team and your team leader is available for questions, you can also ask your broker. So that's just a backstory or a back note that you can ask your broker for anything. And that was what he was mentioning. You could have asked me if you needed me. I'm there for you. So he was promising all of these good and great things. Our office was getting remodeled. So he was like, hey, it's going to be a fresh remodel. Maybe we can have more agents coming through. Because keep in mind, our office was a ghost town. I mean, like, there was a few agents that were very dedicated. They were office people.
Yes.
Me and Ariel, not necessarily are office people because we're so on the go. We're content creators. We like to do open houses. We like to tour properties. We're not office people. But there was people that we kind of wish that there was more activity.
So our office felt very disconnected. And with him saying that there was going to be a new remodel and a fresh slate and a fresh change, we felt very optimistic and we believed in him.
Right. So like just from hearing that our office is going to have like a whole change up in vibe sounded really good to us.
Very refreshing, and we were excited for it.
Right. We really were. We're like, you know what? This could be our new change. You know what? Hey, maybe we might be in the office more because, you know, thinking maybe this is going to bring a community.
Yes.
You know?
There was no sense of community, and that's something that shouldn't be a factor.
Right. So like, honestly, in my opinion, all agents should be working together, cheering each other on.
Friendly competition, you know,
Yes.
You want to see, hey, look what I did. I got a listing. I got a buyer under contract. Congratulations. It makes you feel like you want to work more. It's all friendly with us.
Another thing about having agents within the office, let's just say Ariel and I have a listing. We can say to a group of people rather than one person, hey, we have a new listing. Do you guys have a buyer for a high rise in Cape Coral? Watch, one of them is going to have one. But to speak to maybe one or two agents, the probability is a little lower. After that meeting was all said and done, Ariel and I sat to each other and we were like, okay, so what is going to be most beneficial to our business together? Because now we're going to be our own team, Team Twin Cell Southwest Florida, and we want the best for our clients and we want the best for us. So we had big faith in us that we were able to do our best business in any environment. And since this new environment was sounding very enticing and good, it was a no-brainer that we were going to stay.
And initially, we felt confident within ourselves.
Right.
You know, when changing and working independently, we believed in ourselves so much that the positive aspects of the new change in our brokerage just felt right.
It felt like a plus. So now we're on our own team. Here is where things took a turn. Okay, so now we're on our own. We don't have a team leader anymore / mentor. So now all of our questions for our business, if we had them, would be asked via our broker. So when we did ask a few questions or needed assistance or needed support on our tech, it took either between, and this is being generous, a couple hours.
That's generous.
That is very generous. But I want to be on average too, because sometimes it did take a couple hours, or 1 to 3 business days, which is completely unacceptable when it comes down to your business, because time is money and you want to make sure you are accurate. You want to make sure that you're there for your clients. And if you have a serious question that needs like a broker's opinion, because sometimes in real estate, you can deal with some situations that you wouldn't even expect.
And keep in mind, during our meeting that we had, he was there for us anytime.
Right.
Does anytime mean never?
Or on your own time.
Yeah. Emphasis on your own time, because he was not a very active broker.
And that is something truly important to Ariel and I in our business. Now looking back on it now in our new brokerage, we want a broker that runs his or her brokerage like we would. Exactly. We want to be there for our agents. We want them to feel comfortable. We want them to be in good high spirits, and we want to be there for them most importantly.
And speaking about how time is money, Century 21's tech was very outdated. And on top of it, we had an issue that we needed to resolve quick. It was our lead engine. And there was no...
it was not working for us for our whole
career.
Time here. And it kind of seemed like it was pushed to the side, you know?
And very dismissive, unprofessional emails back.
Right. And the thing is that the thing about Ariel and I is when we're messaging our broker and the director of communications together, we're very professional and we just simply want our answers. And that is just bottom line. Maybe it might have seemed like we we're demanding the basics. And after time and time again of reaching out, it's not that we're trying to be annoying or whatever. We just want our simple stuff to work.
We want to operate our business. Like we said, we had a refresh, we had a restart. We're operating independently, and now the basic needs were not getting met.
Right, and keep in mind how optimistic we were, thinking that this was going to be a great opportunity for us, and that we're feeling really good about being at Century 21 on a fresh, clean slate.
Yes, so let's just say that was our last straw, but there was many
Right.
obstacles and issues that we were faced with that we were just getting aggravated.
Right, and for Ariel, for you to say that it's your last straw, let me just tell you guys on a real note.
We had this many straws.
We could have ran a smoothie shack with all of our straws because every time we would turn to each other and be like, this kind of feels off. And always follow your gut, guys, because if you feel like something's off or that there can be better, there's going to be better for y'all. So please keep that in mind when you're at your brokerage. And if you're feeling like something's off or could be better, that's the case.
Also, you need to feel comfortable with your broker to speak with them.
Right, and they can't be uncomfortable to speak to you, which also was another thing, is that he was not comfortable speaking with his agents.
I don't feel like he was very comfortable running his business. So that made us also lead to finding something better.
So we're going to get into that. So needless to say, the final straw was collected, and Ariel and I turned to each other and said, now is the time that we're going to research new brokerages because our simple needs were not met and we were feeling very uncomfortable. So we went on Google and we looked up brokerages that were nearby or had high ratings. And keep in mind, guys, that each brokerage, let's just say for Remax, for example, there's several Remaxes in our area. Each has their own broker who runs the business. So you're going to come through different situations, different brokers, and you're going to have to find your best fit.
Yes, and not only do you interview the brokerage, Remax, Century 21, anyone, for example, you're interviewing that broker,
Right.
what they can do for you. And as we mentioned, our broker was not doing what he needed to do.
Yes, it wasn't cutting it.
So we're in this process of Zoom call, face-to-face meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of our meetings, we turned to each other and we're like, there's just like one missing element, or something just doesn't seem correct, or we were forced to make a decision within 24 hours.
We were offered a few incentives with this one brokerage, and they're like, okay, but you have 24 hours to decide if this is yes or no. Here's the contract in your email. Since we did not feel comfortable, you always trust your gut, guys. And guess what? In this individual interview, we were not interviewing the broker. We were interviewing like the agent what is the word?
The recruiter.
The recruiter. So we knew right off the bat that that's not what situation we wanted, because
it was a cloud brokerage, essentially.
Right. So we wanted to make sure that we were making the best decision, and that wasn't it. Although the incentive sounded good, we wanted better.
Okay, so months go by and we still haven't found a brokerage yet. There's too many missing elements for us to make that final decision.
And remember, we're looking for a lot of things. We're looking for an amazing broker that met our core values, was an ethical person, and overall good energy. We're also looking for a brokerage that has a good sense of community, updated tech, and overall great location.
And speaking of location, I found a brokerage located in Naples and 5th Avenue. And 5th Avenue is very upscale, which is good for real estate.
So obviously, I like that idea a lot. So we set up a time to message the broker. So Ariel was cooking dinner. This is around 7 o'clock, just for a time frame. She's cooking dinner. I'm emailing the broker. Guess what? 5 minutes after I send, the broker emails me back. That's a good sign to us because that was a fast response for us.
We also even mentioned, we said, that just feels good because they messaged right after hours. So it just felt very refreshing that someone responded so quickly and efficiently.
And we set up the appointment. Okay, it's interview day. So we live in Fort Myers, Florida, which is about an hour out from Naples, which did not matter. We service all of Southwest Florida. We don't really work from an office. We just thought, good location, good broker, let's go. So we're driving, we're discussing what questions we're going to ask our broker, and we have our little Starbucks in our console drinking up.
Always good.
Always good. It's just an overall good vibe. We're happy about it. So let's talk about how we met our broker.
So we walk in, and there's an admin or front desk person who greeted us, asked us why we were here, and as soon as we mentioned that we were meeting our broker, he was already prepared. He made sure that there was space for us and told us where to sit for our meeting.
Right, and so when we're walking in, we're kind of like scoping out the office. It's beautiful. Of course, it's in Fifth Avenue. There's conference rooms for like the bigger sales, and it just, everything is set up so nicely. So, of course, we were seeing the agents walk in. They all have smiles on their faces, very friendly.
Very active, too, and that was a difference in our old brokerage.
We sit down in the conference room, and there comes our the broker that we're interviewing. Dressed in a nice suit, smile on his face. You can feel the good energy right away, but of course we're not going to make a final verdict just from a smile and a suit. But it was feeling good, and of course, like, twin powers activate. I felt Ariel radiating good vibe. Our broker came out and from this brokerage and had everything set up. It was on a screen, what is it?
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint, sorry. It was on a PowerPoint. I felt like all the questions that we had to ask were answered.
Confident, too.
Confidence is key, guys. You want to have somebody who's going to be your broker that's confident, shows up for himself. Like I said, came in with a suit, on time, ready,
well-spoken, well-educated.
Had some amazing background in real estate. Had an awesome legacy of real estate behind him.
Yes, started very young, just like us. We felt, like we mentioned, a broker who ran a business like we would.
So that was just automatically just the most amazing experience. We had the interview. Yes, there was a few questions that we needed to ask after the fact, but our decision was final after we walked out of that room.
We knew the moment that the whole meeting was finished that we were signing the dotted line.
Right? And we actually, as a matter of fact, walked out of the office, turned to each other. So when do we sign was our joke.
We already knew, because after all that interviewing, we had no confidence in any other brokerages like we had this one.
Right. And just like I said, good energy, a great location, and it just felt good. So guess what we did? We celebrated. Of course, like we mentioned, Naples. Fifth Avenue has some beautiful restaurants. We dined at the French.
It was so delicious, and we just sat down. You know, we felt very warm and fuzzy. We felt that good energy, that good feeling that our choice was correct. When you have that gut feeling when you choose your brokerage, that is so important. Listen to your gut. Listen to yourself, and make sure that you follow up and educate yourself on the brokerage and listen and ask questions and make sure that they're overall a good fit.
And why am I crying right now? I have to, I'm crying. And just like we were actually tearing up in the...
Jeez.
Right? And honestly, let me just throw it back a little bit. We were actually tearing up low-key in the meeting.
We just felt
good. And can we just get on the little details of what we ordered at the French? Because we were celebrating. We wanted to set the tone. We ordered an Aperol Spritz. We ordered steak frites, if I'm saying that correctly.
And French onion soup, because we're at the French. And we just felt like, we can't say it enough, we just felt like it was the right decision.
We're welcome home, and you know what, to many more lunches here at Fifth Avenue. And it's not just the brokerage that makes a great agent, but it's awesome to have the backbone, and we felt welcome.
Yes, and we felt like our prayers have been answered. We felt like our broker was going to be there for us, which he has. He's very efficient and effective, and we are so happy with their decision. And that's why we made this video for you, to make sure that you're educated when you choose your brokerage, because not only the brokerage, it doesn't define who you are as an agent, but it sure does help.
So you guys are probably wondering, where does the 6 figures come to play? The money. Well, just to disclose, we did make 6 figures with Century 21. And that's all on us, but how are you going to make more? So number 1, updated tech. That is going to save us time and money. Location. We are in one of the richest zip codes in Florida. That's going to lead us to opportunities.
Also, the sense of community, but also the additional support. We had admins, we had all the additional help that our brokerage didn't have prior.
And also another thing to factor in is our location is on Fifth Avenue. So let's just say we have a car show or event. we're invited to these events, but we can also be in front of our brokerage. Imagine the people we can meet, the opportunities we can have. That is awesome. And also, when you search our team name, we're under Fifth Avenue. Yes, we do service Southwest Florida as a whole and can help you anywhere with global connections. But it is great to have that underneath because it brings in more opportunities.
With all these factors included, we made the correct decision, and we are so happy with what we chose.
Yes. So guys, if you have any questions on real estate, this is one of our first videos of the year, and we're looking to do more. So if you have any questions, like for example, what it's like to be on a team, or any questions regarding Coldwell Banker as a whole video itself, or just any questions that you think that you might want to ask us, let us know in the comments. We'll be happy to make these videos.
Yes. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.
And don't forget to subscribe.